Earthquakes on the Earth's surface sometimes show themselves as shaking and sometimes as displacement. Sometimes a tsunami can occur when a strong earthquake occurs near the Earth's surface. These tremors can also trigger landslides and volcanic activity. In general, the word earthquake is used to name the seismic waves produced by any seismic event, either as a natural phenomenon or caused by humans. Earthquakes are usually caused by the cracking of fractures, fault lines. In addition, earthquakes can occur as a result of volcanic activities, landslides, mine explosions, or nuclear tests. There are three types of fracture, fault. They are dip-slip reverse faults, dip-slip normal faults, and strike-slip faults. Many earthquakes on Earth are caused by fractures in dip-slip and strike-slip faults. Normal faults occur mainly in areas where the crust is elongated, such as the divergent boundary. Earthquakes associated with normal faults are usually less than magnitude 7. Maximum magnitudes along many normal faults are even more limited because most of them are located along spreading centers, such as in Iceland, where the brittle layer is only about 6 kilometers (3.7 miles) thick. Reverse faults occur in areas where the crust is shortened, such as the convergent boundary. Reverse faults, especially those along convergent plate boundaries, are associated with the strongest earthquakes, megathrust earthquakes, nearly all of which are magnitude 8 or greater. Megathrust earthquakes are responsible for approximately 90% of the total seismic moment released worldwide. Strike-slip faults are vertical structures where the two sides of the fault cross each other horizontally. Transformation boundaries are a particular type of strike-slip fault. Strike-slip faults, particularly continental transformations, can produce large earthquakes of around magnitude 8. Strike-slip faults tend to be oriented almost vertically, causing a width of approximately 10 kilometers (6.2 miles) within the brittle crust. Thus, earthquakes much larger than 8 are unlikely. Additionally, a hierarchy of stress levels of 3 fault types has. Thrust faults are formed by the highest stress levels, strike-slip middle faults, and normal faults by the lowest stress levels. 6. This can be easily understood by considering the direction of the greatest principal stress, which is the direction of the force that pushes the rock mass during faulting. In the case of normal faults, the rock mass is pushed down in the vertical direction, so the pushing force, the largest principal stress, is equal to the weight of the rock mass. In the case of thrust, the rock mass escapes in the direction of least principal stress, i.e. upwards, lifting the rock mass so that the cover layer is equal to the least principal stress. Strike-slip faulting is intermediate between the other two types described above. This difference in stress regime in the three faulting environments may contribute to differences in stress drop during faulting, which contribute to differences in radiated energy independent of fault sizes. An aftershock is an earthquake that occurs after the main shock, which is the previous earthquake. Rapid stress changes between rocks, and the tension from the first earthquake, together with the crust around the ruptured fault plane adapting to the effects of the main shock, are the main causes of these aftershocks. 8. Aftershocks occur in the center of the main earthquake, but are smaller in magnitude. If the aftershock is more severe than the main earthquake, it should be known that the earthquake that occurred before the aftershock is not the main earthquake, but the precursor earthquake, and the shaking called the aftershock is actually the main earthquake. Artificial earthquakes. The vast majority of earthquakes occur as a result of the movement of the Earth's tectonic plates. In addition, people can also cause earthquakes. Humans can cause artificial earthquakes when building large dams and bridges, drilling into the ground, digging coal mines, or drilling oil wells. One of the best-known examples of this is the artificial earthquake that occurred as a result of the collapse of the Zipingpu Dam in Sichuan, China in 2008, causing 69,227 deaths. Approximately 500,000 earthquakes occur every year in the world, and 100,000 of them are felt. Guatemala, Chile, Peru, Indonesia, Iran, Pakistan, Portugal, Turkey, New Zealand, Greece, Italy, Japan, and the United States often occur in countries such as small violence. Earthquakes of great intensity occur less frequently. For example, most of the earthquakes that occur roughly 10 times a day are more likely to be for magnitude than 5. Again, for example, in the UK, earthquakes between 3.7 to 4.6 sizes and earthquakes in the size of 4.7 to 5.5 in 10 years can be seen every year, while earthquakes of 5.6 or more can be seen every 100 years. This was called the Gutenberg-Richter rule. Main earthquakes.
One of the most destructive earthquakes in the registered history was the 1556 Fani earthquake in the city of Shenxi, China on January 23, 1556.
More than 830,000 people died. Most of the houses in the region were dwellings carved on the slopes of Yodong, and when these structures collapsed, many victims died. The 1976 Tangshan earthquake, which killed 240,000 to 655,000 people, was the most deadly earthquake of the 20th century.
The largest earthquake measured on Earth is the 9.5 magnitude earthquake in Valdivia, Chile on May 22, 1960. Compared to energy ejaculation, the next largest earthquake took place on March 27, 1964 in Alaska with 9.2 and 9.2.
While the entire 10 largest earthquake measured on Earth was in size 8.5 or more, one of the earthquakes that caused the most loss of life in parallel is the earthquake in the Indian Ocean in 2004. The most important result of earthquakes is the death of people. When a strong earthquake occurs, the regions on the coast of the ocean and where many people live are significant. Tsunamis may occur in the coastal areas of the sea and ocean due to the earthquake, and these giant waves can affect even the areas of thousands of kilometers away. Other people under danger are those who live in poor regions and in poor areas where earthquakes are rare but strongly seen, and people who live in uncontrolled buildings.